Hey everybody, I'm Paste Magazine TV editor Allison Keene here with our editor-in-chief Josh Jackson, and we are talking the TV Power Ranking, the top 10 shows of the week as voted on by the Paste TV writers and editors. And this is almost a completely new list this week because our summer shows have faded away, our fall shows are in full swing.
We are fully in fall. We feel the crisp Christmas to the air outside.
Right, and, even in Atlanta. It's getting a little cool. So
it is fall TV season.
We're going to dive in with number 10, which is This Is Us. Now, this is an Amy Amatangelo special. She's our assistant TV editor. She puts the list together every week. She has been wanting us to talk about This Is Us, a show that Josh and I no longer watch. I don't know if you ever watched it. I did for a while.
It's definitely, every episode has been on in my house, but I've never been watching a full episode.
Amy has said we have to talk about This Is Us because they have a really, really good arc. It's not just about the death of Jack anymore, which has sort of been the shadow over the show for so long.
Jack died?
Well, the funny thing about This Is Us is like, it's a show that caused Americans to all tune in after the Super Bowl to watch a man be killed by a crock pot. So whatever else you want to say about it, it did achieve that. I think it might be
the only show that's ever done that.
It might be the only show. So, but according to Amy, it is really diving into the long range effects of grief this season, which we've talked about a little bit in another show that's on our list, Sorry for Your Loss. But it's getting away from the specifics of Jack's death and more about how that has affected his family over the years, and getting away from the mystery and focusing a little more on interpersonal issues. And also it has been doing a really good job of giving Justin Hartley an excellent storyline this season. So according to Amy, if you have given up on This Is Us, it might be a good time to come back to it. So we shall see, but it is on our list this week at number 10. Number 9 is Modern Love, which is on Amazon. It's a short form anthology series that is sort of like a collection of rom-coms, essentially.
Basically. And the great thing about a short form anthology is that you can just dip in and out of this at your pleasure. It's not committing to watching a full season of television if you've got 30 minutes and you just want to watch something sweet and light, but also emotional and impactful, and some of these
with a lot of A-list stars.
Yeah, with a lot of pick your favorite Hollywood stars, watch them in a very short rom-com. It's kind of a great concept, and and I think they've pulled it off very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 8 this week is Sorry for Your Loss on Facebook Watch. Now, again, like we talked about with This Is Us, this is a show that deals with grief in really raw and real and emotional ways, but it's not a heavy show. Again, it's only 30 minutes, and it's free, whether or not you have a Facebook account. It's just a truly beautiful meditation on a deep sadness and how that affects this one particular family of 3 women. And it's really been a joy to watch. It's in its 2nd season now, and highly recommend.
So you don't even need a Facebook account to watch Facebook?
You do not even need a Facebook account, evidently. Number 7 this week is Evil on CBS. Now, this is one we thought might actually slip off the power ranking, but has actually surprised us week by week and is an incredibly creepy show, and had a great Halloween episode, which is fitting for a show that's creepy and about evil.
It is. In the grand tradition of wonderful Halloween episodes, this is a fun one. For a show that, what I've really loved about the show is it's a supernatural show, but it's dealing with that skepticism of is the supernatural real or not? And with each episode, you never know where it's going to fall, which way each particular sort of case of the week or monster of the week is going to show.
Is it a demon or is it a psychological anomaly?
And it came to a head this week where you're in a room with 2 people from the Catholic Church, 2 people from that are psychiatrists who do not believe, and they get in an argument about whether this person needs an exorcism or whether this person needs medical attention. Yeah. And that it feels very real, and it feels like a tough. You've got a husband caught in the middle of wanting the best for his wife.
Right.
But
it's a smart show. It's surprisingly emotional, and it really loves creepy kids.
It does. You got a great creepy kid this week with a little girl who just never takes her mask off, and you don't know, is this the neighbor friend? Is this some spooky demon? And these poor girls in this show keep I think getting the realer side of this, the scarier side of the supernatural that they keep encountering.
Yeah,
which makes it really interesting when you put it in that. Yeah. And it's not like the show Supernatural where they're just hunting and fighting these things. It's more just like spooky, creepy vibe.
How
I've
it
enjoyed
might
the
really
show.
be a part of our world. Yeah, it's really been surprising.
CBS, who knew?
CBS, who knew? Number 6 this week is Saturday Night Live. Chance the Rapper was the guest star. He actually had a really interesting monologue where he talked about his support for the Chicago teachers who are on strike. And that's one thing that I think doesn't happen a lot in the SNL monologues, is that, it was funny and he did do skits and sketches, but he also made it real, and talked about these real issues and political issues.
Yeah, ironically, SNL, for all of their political sketches, really often has very little to say about politics. It's more about the celebrity of impersonating presidents and sort of making fun of political figures and their mannerisms and their ideologies or whatever, but not really making actual political statements. So it was kind of refreshing to see.
It really was, yeah.
It took Chance coming on and taking a stand for something much more grounded.
And he's literally put his money where his mouth is, because he has donated, I believe, $1 million to
which,
the
as he said,
Chicago
just
Public
fixed
Schools.
everything.
Yeah, everything's fine now. It's great. Number 5 this week is Watchmen on HBO. Now, I have hesitated on this one a little bit because we're in this era of prestige television where the showrunner really matters, right? Like, you follow certain showrunners you like. If you like Ryan Murphy, if you like Damon Lindelof. I'm not the biggest Damon Lindelof fan. I wasn't a huge fan of Leftovers. Lost left me a little cold. So the idea that there is a Watchmen series that's dealing with race, I'm like, is Damon Lindelof the person I want to explain this phenomenon to me? I don't know, but Josh says it is actually pretty great.
So far it has exceeded my expectations. This is a beloved graphic novel that we were all wondering how this would get handled, and it's a neat way to continue the story on. It's not just a retelling of what's in the graphic novel. That is in this world set, that was what happened in the 80s. This is what's happening now, where Dr. Manhattan is part of history. And, it's interesting to see this world and its quirks. It's a parallel universe to ours. Squid are raining from the sky. Robert Redford was the president. And I've enjoyed what Lindelof, I think, is very good at, is making you care about the questions. Now, he doesn't always answer them in a satisfactory way, but at this point in the series, that doesn't matter so much. It's fascinating questions. It's brought up. It all takes place in Tulsa
but filmed right here in Decatur, Georgia.
Yes,
Atlanta, Georgia.
Decatur, is a stand-in, I think, a lot of times for Tulsa, which is always fun to see for us locals.
Yeah.
But all sort of with the history of the Tulsa race riots and the ever-present background there. So,
right.
So far so good.
It's built to be a
watch.
Standalone sort of season. It's not meant to go past this, so it should wrap up.
Yeah, he said that he doesn't have story to tell after this. Somebody else has a story to tell after this. That's fine, but
We shall see.
I am looking forward to the rest of the season very much.
Number 4 this week on our list is The Good Place, which did not start the season on the power ranking, much to everyone's surprise. It had maybe a little bit of a shaky start, but now it's back with a vengeance.
Yeah, and what's funny is those first few episodes, it wasn't that the humor had dropped off. It's been funny every episode. But what has made this show so great is all of the twists and turns and the plotting, and it finally feels like that's back right now, where things that you thought were happening are not happening, and it feels like the show that I fell in love with right now. This last episode, particularly, was a great one. You get a little more Janet. You always need more Janet. Kristen Bell is fantastic in this, as is Ted Danson. Again, if you've not watched The Good Place from the beginning, I can't imagine anyone who could not like this show.
And this is in its final season, which is true for our number 3 show this week, Silicon Valley, starting its 6th and final season. And this is a show that, I've always enjoyed. I think it has been better at certain times than others, but I was really charmed by the premiere. The show has a very clear formula, and it sticks to it, and it works. So this season is about data mining, which of course they always tie it to sort of ripped from the headlines in the tech industry plot line. But yeah, I mean, it's still hilarious. Zach Woods is still the MVP of this show. He's incredible. But the fact that Richard's company, now Pied Piper, has become this whole corporation, he's like, we're not mining your data, and we're not taking these things from you. And then he finds out that actually, they are mining everyone's data, and they're listening to everything on every device that you have. And so that's going to be the main quandary of the season. And it's timely, it's funny, and it's just a good show.
It is so timely. I don't think HBO could have paid for the press. Like the week after we all saw the image of Mark Zuckerberg getting grilled by Congress.
Just floundering in front of Congress.
Floundering in front of Congress. That's how the season opens, is with all these tech giants.
Unintentionally, but
yes,
but perfectly.
It did feel absolutely ripped from the headlines, and it was a great premiere.
So in keeping with our spooky Halloween theme of the Halloween week episode of the Power Rankings, number 2 this week on our list is Castle Rock on Hulu, which is starting its 2nd season and is spooky, but not maybe super scary. But the main thing is that Lizzie Kaplan is just amazing starring in this season.
She is. And the great thing about Castle Rock is each season is its own standalone story. What ties them all together is they take place in the town of Castle Rock, which is basically the home of every creepy thing that Stephen King has ever written. So it is a wonderful anthology of Stephen King stories. This one, Lizzie Kaplan plays the young version of Nurse Annie, who goes on to become the antagonist in Misery. So you get, but she's a mom in this one. She mother of Elsie Fisher. You've got Tim Robbins, so it's a great cast. Yeah. It is creepy, but not super scary. If you can't handle like the super scary, this is a nice little medium ground, kind of like the show Evil. But yes, the characters are wonderful. The story is gripping, and I love this little town of Castle Rock, and can't wait to see all the stories that come from this team.
So we have a lot of final seasons in our power ranking this week, and there's one more, our number 1 final season of a beloved show, BoJack Horseman on Netflix. Actually, this is the first part of the final season.
It is.
The last section of episodes will air in January, something that I don't love. I wish they would stop splitting up seasons like that, but nevertheless, we're getting at least a little bit.
I would have loved to have the whole season now, but this first half is pretty incredible. BoJack Horseman right now, to me, there is no show on television that even comes remotely close to capturing the zeitgeist of our culture, capturing the moment of 2019, of what it means to be an American in this particular year at this particular time. For this season, it's particularly true. It's beautiful in that you see this redemption of BoJack. He's in rehab. He's trying to put his life together. And yet, I think what we have coming in the second half of the season is a look at, well, that's great that you've put your life together and that you found redemption. What about all these people whose lives that you've actually ruined? Right. And it addresses these questions, these Me Too questions, these questions of celebrity and personal responsibility and personal growth and forgiveness and all of these huge questions in a way that no live action show compares.
He is a horse, and yet it works.
It works, and he's horrible, and yet it's the show with such heart, such sweetness, such really wanting to be good in the world, feeling and redemption in a way that few other shows can match.
Right. Well, that's it for us this week. Thank you for joining us here at the Pace Studio in downtown Atlanta, and tune in next week for our top picks of the TV week.